In the very beginning, when I first became a DG, there was probably only 2 girls that I knew that were going to church and that I could look to that were like, okay, they are living out their faith. But luckily, I got to meet Meg Johnson. She was on staff with Sumo, and I hung out with Meg my whole freshman year. And through hanging out with her, I went to Kaleo, and after that, I made the decision to follow Christ. I remember moving in to live in the DG house thinking like, okay, I have no idea what this year's about to look like. No one else around me is living like this. But we got to meet 4 other girls, Jordan Miller, Colleen, Jessica Dennis, and Elena Johnson. And later that year, all 4 of those girls went to Kaleo. The life that they lived before that summer was not one that was associated with faith or anything like that. And so when they came back, I feel like that's just when things in DG changed, to where just them living out their faith was transformative for like the girls around them. And so there's so many stories that go down and beyond those 4, but one of those stories is me and Jordan meeting Faith Allen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I met Jordan and Sam during DG recruitment, and there was something just so different about them. What I would find out later is that was just the love of Christ in them that I wanted to have as well. And just through Jordan's faithfulness, because of God's faithfulness in her life, she started sharing the gospel with me. And at first I rejected it, and then Jordan continued to pursue me. Ended up following the Lord at Kaleo, and then afterwards, coming back on campus, I was so excited because Jesus had done something in me that I've never felt before, and I wanted everyone to feel this feeling. And then Catherine was someone who I knew before Christ, and I genuinely loved to be around. I didn't grow up in the church or anything, so I never really heard about the gospel or had anybody around me that was living a set-apart life. So I think it was weird, but kind of amazing when I encountered people who were living this life that was completely different from me. It sparked curiosity. And I remember then Faith, I knew Faith my freshman year, but our friendship was very superficial, oh, here's this party, you should come to it kind of deal. And I got to see him change Faith's life and completely turn it upside down. That it showed me it was possible that no matter how far you feel like you are from God or how deep in sin you are, that He is pursuing us and He is powerful enough to transform your life. And because of what He did in your life, I saw potential in doing that in my life. So then I just made a decision to also go to Kaleo, and Faith was my D group leader there. And that's when I surrendered my life to Christ. And after that, coming back, there was just a fire. It's like a key to life, figuring out what the key and the secret to life is and how could you keep that to yourself. So coming back, I wanted to share it with my family, just because I didn't grow up in the church, so no one in my family really ever heard the gospel. So I shared it with Cynthia, was the first person I came home, and seeing it light up in her eyes, and just seeing how once she got into DG and was surrounded by more people who were faithfully walking with the Lord, it was cool to see her life completely change too. And then Ashley I met during recruitment, and she was the first person that I ever shared the gospel with that wasn't in my family, which is so cool that God's allowed me to witness so many life changes within my family and through the people in my sorority. That's what made the 4 years at Texas A&M so purposeful, because as a senior now, looking back, realizing everything does come to an end and facing a lot of laughs, I'm realizing I'm not going to be DG next year, I'm not going to be an Aggie, but I'm still going to be a follower of Christ, and that's what lasts, and that's what's changing lives under me. So there's just some unexplainable joy of not just your own salvation, but watching other people come to know Jesus and sharing that faith and it keep going. It's what we are designed for, and our purpose in this life is to see God gain the glory that He deserves.
When I try to put it into words of what God has done in DG, I can't even describe it, because this is just one generation of many. But when I think about it, of really what we all just did was God changed our life, and then we wanted to share that with someone else. I've just, by the grace of God, have gotten to witness that happen in Jordan and Elena and Colleen and Jess and from there, it was just like the gospel is going out in DG in like all these different directions to where 2018 on, like God hasn't stopped using people in their life changes.